Hello everybody, Gibster 541 here. I am now a wither skeleton because I was lucky and got a wither skeleton head when I went exploring to the nether. Now I've done quite a bit since we built the wall outside. Um Behind me is a map which I got from a villager trading. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed me trading with the villager. Now, the villager gave us this woodland explorer map, as you saw. And I'll use this as a backdrop for now. Look at that. Now then. So, how you read it? You put, since we have a compass right there, look at the compass. North, east, south, west. So we need to go north, west, east, or something like that to get to this exploration area. You know. So I have packed some buckets, arrows, a saddle just in case we find a horse. I'm not saying we will, but if we do, we have a saddle. Lots of food, which I might, let's grab just another stack of fish just in case, because we're gonna be walking, running, and all that jazz. And then we have wheat for the horses just in case. I'm not entirely sure what they take breed, but we'll have it. So now let's get on to our journey. Now, we haven't gone on a journey since the last time, or the last series, which was about the paladin, Melandriel, or Milo, however you want to say it. But I think I never got to tell you the story of the druid Lerissa, which I don't think her beginning is rather fun. So I'm going to tell you the story of what happened during actually last night's session, or a few sessions before. They don't have to go in order, I don't think. Well, my stories don't need to go in order, luckily. So yeah, this is gonna take a while, so sit back, grab some snacks, something to drink. I have a cup of water for now. And let's get on with the story, and I'll probably get distracted and say, hey look, chickens, like I just did. Yeah. So, Lerissa. Before they're on a battlefield, they were searching for a dwarven battle standard. No, we had no clue what it was supposed to be, or they didn't know. But they were told that they would know when they saw it. Okay. Now, at this point, her party consists of a bard that is a half-elf, and is not that smart, it seems. But he creates a lot of chaos, and it's kind of funny. Because Lerissa herself is actually a tiefling, and in this world, tieflings, they're infernal. And I'm taking the head. I'm sorry. I'll keep that on for now. Anyways, tieflings, they don't really look nice. They have tails, they have horns. They're kind of like demons, but they're neutral. They can be chaotic. And then she also has a warlock, I believe, a warlock in her party that is also a tiefling, so she's kind of at home, She has a fellow tiefling there. And then there's a celestial being that is called they call Red. That's just his name. They don't know he's red, His color's not red, his name is Red. And this is gonna take a while, so get comfy. Alright, so. And then there is a dwarf, a female dwarf. You know, not everyone knows what they look like, but whatever. And then there is a human barbarian that is a female. So they're resting out in the battlefield in the bard's Liam's tiny hut that lets them sleep in peace. But the next thing Lerissa knows, she's in a weird bed. Weird bed. Her head feels dizzy, almost like a charm, maybe? She doesn't know. So she wakes up and there's most of her crew already there. Just lying in their bed. Same thing probably happened. And then suddenly a dwarf comes out of an archway or out of a room that's up some stairs and starts telling them to get ready for their job. They have to go to work, you know. But after waking up, Lerissa and her friends do not know what they're supposed to do. So they start asking, and this dwarf is just as confused, thinking why don't they know where to go? So he tells them they're supposed to get dressed, so they get dressed. It's not their normal clothing, it's servant clothing, which they were never servants. You know, they weren't servants. They're adventurers. And this is slowly coming back to them, but they don't know where their actual gear is. So they follow the lot out to go to their workstations or whatever. And the warlock, Tiefling warlock, his profession was a cook. So he was all into it. He was like, oh, we're gonna cook some meat, blah 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 blah. We're gonna cook this, cook that, and then a female elf who's happy as can be goes, silly Squizgar, it's smoothies today. We're making smoothies. And then Squizgar was like, what? That's today? I totally forgot. And then they talk a little bit more, and then the elf reminds him that he's forgetting his chef's hat. So they have to go back to get it. And oh, I forgot to mention the human monk. He's just as confused as everyone, but with Lerissa and Squizgar, they end up going back to their room to look for or to go get Squizgar's hat. Now, at this point, the bard is just suddenly going off on his own. Lerissa loses sight of him. You know, Lerissa was a cleaning lady or cleaning servant, so she had a little dustpan and whatnot. So the three of them go back to the room, right? Yeah, the dormitory is what it was called, and oh, there's a cliff. And when they knock on the door saying it's someone important, she doesn't really recall because she wasn't really paying attention. She was just feeling out of her element because there was stone everywhere, but there was no there was no grass or trees or there's no nature around, so she wasn't feeling herself, her druid self. She knew she was a druid. So the dwarf walks out of the door after stumbling around and acts professional. And then that's when the monk and Squizgar attack him. They beat him up. And then they tie him up and lock him in one of the cabinets for some odd reason. Just to get him out of their head, whatever. So after that, the three go up to the dwarf's room and they find a set of they found a set of keys on the dwarf. And the keys led to a room full of lockers. And I can't see my map. Looks like we have a long ways to go still. So, they go through the lockers and they find their equipment. All of them. All their stuff. All the equipment for all the servants that was in the servants' quarters. So they don on their garbs, their staff, and Lerissa, being a druid, she has to have a little focus to cast her magic, because that's what druids have to do, and it's a little U-wand. So what she does, she takes her dustpan and puts it together with her U-wand to make it look inconspicuous, and she sees the monk doing the same thing, but with a broom and his monkey staff. Monk staff. Not monkey staff. So yeah. So after that, they pick up the bard's equipment as well. You know, because teammate and all, they still do not know where he went. He ran off to. And they also find this gavel. You know, like one of those judges, or the gavels a judge has. They find one of those. They don't know what it does. So Lerissa takes it and just puts it on herself, or she tries yelling objection or whatever, coming up with words. They think something happens, but they're not entirely sure. So she just puts it into her bag until she could figure out what it's used for. Whew. Alright. I need to take a little break from talking for a bit. We'll take a break from the story for now. So, how is everyone? Are you enjoying it? Sorry about that. I hope you are enjoying the story thus far. So, if your snacks are deplenished, as well as your drink, take a little break and go refill, and then we'll get back to the story. Shall we? Okay. So they got their stuff, and now the dwarf is making a racket inside of the of the wardrobe he's in, because I stuffed him in it. So the monk and Squizgar open it, and they basically let him out, and he seems to be back in control of his own mind and is questioning where they are and all that. and then the druid Lerissa, to get him to cooperate, she pulls out a bottle of whiskey she had on her in her bag. Now, before they had gone adventuring into the war zone again, or the old battlefield, the bard had bought at about 10 bottles of whiskey. And he's kind of a lightweight, the bard. So Lerissa, the monk, and the barbarian, who they haven't seen the barbarian at all, nor have they seen Red. So they just hope they're okay. Whew. So she takes the bottle out and hands it to the dwarf, and they basically become comrades now. So he starts chugging it, yelling, "It burns! Go, 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 go! It burns!" But it's like one of those good kind of burns, you know? When you finally have your favorite beverage after who knows how long. So this goes on for a couple more minutes. And by this time, the bard has finally come back. It was probably the realization that one of his bottles of whiskey was getting drunk. Let me switch this. Oh, yeah, we're still at the bottom corner. He looked at me funny, and he was not liking the story. I mean, what? So, now that the bard had returned, they gave the bard his equipment back and all that. So he got all prepared, and all of a sudden, they felt arrows pierce their backs. They look around, and there's these there's these bird people, these people with bird faces and bird feet. Out of nowhere, they start attacking them. So battle ensues, and the monk ends up climbing the wall because there's some up on top of the wall. And Squizgar is shooting off his Eldritch Blast, which is hitting them and pushing them 10 feet back. And then Lerissa, she had just learned a new spell before they even got there, and it was Call Lightning. So what she does, she casts her spell, and a giant storm cloud appears in this giant room. It's like 60 foot wide and 10 feet high. And she starts zapping these Kenku, that they seem to be called, with lightning, and dealing not a lot of damage because they seem dexterous enough to jump away, but not quick enough. So they do take some damage, but they're just the three of them are just slaughtering these bird people. The monk doing his monkey stuff, doing backflips and punching them. And so after a bit, the bird people decide to flee, so they run away. And then the monk stays up top and says he'll throw a rock down if he notices anyone coming. And after a while, they're talking to the dwarf. They're taking a rest, and that's when the monk throws a pebble down as someone comes, and lo and behold, it's the elfin chick. She was worried about Squizgar and how he didn't come back. So she had gone to look, and when she finds him, she starts talking about how the guards were killing people because the Kenku were apparently the guards, you know? And that's scary. The guards that protected you are suddenly killing everyone. So she's trying to be happy and all, and then that's when Lerissa gets an idea. So she pulls out the gavel, yells objection as she hits the gavel, and the elf lady, she comes back to her senses, like out of charm that she was under. She starts asking all these questions of where she was, blah blah blah, all that. And then the four calmed her down, and she went into the lockers to get her stuff, and told everyone not to peek, because she's a lady. Come on, you don't peek on a lady that's changing. And Lerissa made sure to not let anyone go up the stairs. But they kind of did forget about the monk. But Lerissa, or the elf, did go into the locker rooms to change, so the monk couldn't really see anything. And yeah, so the elf comes out of the lockers dressed in her wizard robes. She's a wizard, and she introduces herself as Andy. So that's how they met Andy, and the dwarf who called himself Brecken. So Brecken and Andy joined the party. Yeah, that's the beginning of Larissa's time in Cloud Cuckoo Land. I hope you guys did enjoy that story. I do have some more content or more stories about Milo, who episode 5, before the world accidentally got deleted, I talked a bit about how his adventure started, and I think we're gonna end it there, since we're nowhere close. We're nowhere close to this this place we're supposed to be going. I believe I'm going in the right way. So I'm gonna end the video with maybe a speed up version of us getting a little farther. Maybe we'll come up onto the map. I don't know, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's story. I'll tell you guys another one another time when we go adventuring. So make sure to hit the like button if you did like the story. Comment down in the comment section if you want to hear more of this story, even though I'm going to tell more of it. Maybe, I don't know. Or if you want me to come up with a completely new story and a new character, you know, either or, let me know down in the comments. And also make sure to subscribe so you can hear future stories, see future videos. And with that, it will not end off the video for now, but we just found ourselves a mesa biome. And it's way out here. Look how far we've traveled. Holy crud. Oh look, we had a dark roof forest over here. Huh. This is where we are, and we're all the way over here now. But yeah, I'm gonna mark this on our map. That way we can teleport later, or even set up another portal. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. As I said, make sure to hit the like button, comment, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video. GBFN, goodbye for now.